everybody, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be covering Fire Emblem, our favorite beloved Nintendo RPG franchise. Today I just want to talk about what I think they should do next with the series, and there's a lot of avenues they could go down, to be honest, and after they're done with Engage and all of its DLC, what's going to happen next? We don't know. There's most likely going to be a new Nintendo console by then, hopefully. So with having a new console in mind, I had an idea for what the next game should be, considering it would be probably one of the better decisions they could make. And I think a lot of people would agree with it, so let's just get to that part right now. Now, my idea is going to kind of piggyback off of what they did with Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia. So Shadows of Valentia is a remake of the second Fire Emblem game, Fire Emblem Gaiden. And it's, for the most part, I mean, when I played it on my 3DS or 2DS XL, whatever you want to call it, my new 2DS XL, which was probably the best way to play it for me. I also recently have emulated it on computer, which made it look quite a bit better, I'd say. But anyway, I think this game was quite good considering the 3DS era of games. Obviously, Awakening much better than Fates, but I like Fates too. It wasn't bad, but I think Echoes was really good considering what their source material was, and what they did with it was really nice. And I think a lot of people really liked Shadows of Valentia, sorry, fake Fire Emblem fan. But when it comes to remakes, the only games they've remade are the first and third game, and then the second game. Now, I think they should remake another game. So, with all that in mind, let me present to you what I think the remake should be. The first and more unlikely of the two is, so I'm going to list two Echoes games I think would most make sense. So we have an Echoes of Genealogy and Thracia, kind of like a put-together game. So it's both games put together because they both happen in the same continuity. I think this would make sense considering they're not even released in the US. They're Japanese exclusive titles. We have Leaf and all those kinds of characters in Heroes. We also have a few of them in Engage, so people know who they are and about them, but they most likely have never played their game or have seen their game before. This would make sense on a standpoint saying no one's been able to experience this game before, really, outside of Japan. And I think it would be really nice to have it, but I've played them and the story's good, but the gameplay is very bad. I don't like how big the maps are. I don't like how meaty the cast is. It's just a lot, and I get that if they remade it they would probably fix those issues, but I don't know, it's just not my type of Fire Emblem I really like. But I wouldn't be mad if we got this per se, it's the one I wouldn't prefer, but I think this would make sense. But the one I'm going to be talking about next, I think, has a much better chance of being the next FE game. The next Fire Emblem game, I think, should be a remake of the Radiant games, so Ike's games. So this Echoes game would most likely have the events of the first and second game put together in one giant game. So we would have Radiant Dawn and Path of Radiance put together in one giant package. I think a lot of people slept on this game when it came out on the GameCube and Wii, but if you watch any Fire Emblem YouTuber, they will say how it's garnered respect over the years, and a lot of people really like it now. I think this game should get remade because Ike's popularity is like one of the largest over every character. He's one of the most liked lords, even though he's not technically like a lord. His story and everything is very nice and very unique in his games. I think having his game being like a day one release with the next Nintendo console would be amazing. All they would have to do is obviously remake the graphics and everything, and give us more CGI cutscenes than the original game had, and redo the old CGI cutscenes. Give us complete voice acting for every character and all the dialogue. Give us the original Japanese script instead of the Americanized version. If you didn't know, Radiant Dawn and I think Path of Radiance also had this, but I know Radiant Dawn did. There was two different scripts. The easier option you chose would give you a lesser script. It would use less grammar and less vocabulary, because in Japan, people who were going to choose lower difficulties, they assumed they were younger and didn't have the vocabulary to understand like the harder language. And then if you chose hard, you would get the better script. It has a lot better story elements and everything in that script. When it came over to the US, we only got the one script, which was the worst one. So I think they should definitely use the script that was originally intended for the harder difficulties. And I think this game is pretty much one of the best Fire Emblem games I've played. I'll make a tier list later on of like Fire Emblem games, but this is like top 5 for sure, like Ike's games. I don't know which one. I think I like Radiant Dawn more, but Path of Radiance also. They're just both such good games. And I think it has potential to blossom and grow into something way more with like the new technology we have and everything, and just remaking some of the systems and everything. And I just think this is the best option for Nintendo for the next FE game. A lot of people want this game. A lot of people didn't get to play this game because it came out on the GameCube, and it came out when the GameCube was on its last year, so not a lot of people got it. And people who want to play it now, if you want to buy this game, it's hundreds of dollars to get it physically, so the only option is to emulate it for people who don't want to spend that much money on it. Yeah, I think this would be the best game to come to the Switch for Fire Emblem, especially if it was a day one release with whatever Nintendo decides to do with their next console, to just show the console's new limitations. If we could get a FE game with more than 30 FPS, that would be really nice. To get a nice 1440p 60 FPS experience with Ike's story and everything, I honestly think it's the best option. I'll give a little bit more detail, but that's pretty much my main idea for us to get. Either Echo's game is fine with me, but I'm really rooting for Ike's game because it's honestly just one of the best ones we've ever gotten. So I'll head up to the wrap-up section, but yep, that's my idea. Either getting an Echo's game for Genealogy and Thracia, or getting an Echo's game for Ike's game. So let's get up to the wrap-up section and I'll end up this video. Now, when it comes to just the game itself, I think Ike's games are more likely to come to Switch because they're in very high demand. A lot of people love the characters from those games. If you watch anyone's retrospectives on the characters or just Ike in general, you'll see a lot more positivity with the roster from Ike's game. There's a lot of really great characters. Not saying Thracia and Genealogy don't have good characters. I just think the character development for characters really started getting really good with Ike's games. Not saying the previous games didn't have character development for their roster, but I think Ike's games really shine in that department. There's a lot of great character interaction in those games. And I just think overall it would be a nice and cleaner experience for Ike's games to get remastered for the Switch. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. I will make a Fire Emblem tier list in the near future just so I can get more Fire Emblem content out. But yeah, just let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is there a game you'd like to see remastered? And which one? So yeah. Oh, and I just wanted to say, the only reason I didn't say Binding Blade or anything is because they're most likely going to be going to the Game Boy Advance Nintendo Online Service emulator, so we will have those on the Switch eventually. So I don't think we should get a remake yet for those, but I think Ike's games are definitely more worth it. So alright, I'm gonna head out here, so like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next video. Alright, peace.